Hi there, this is Ranjit, and in this week of weekly talks, I wanted to take up the topic between Tier 1 brands and the upcoming brands or the Chinese brands that sell their devices at a very aggressive price point. I know I have taken up a similar topic earlier also, but now I have a different set of questions that I would like to get answers and your point of view. And I'll also share my experience of my family, because some of them actually just prefer branded devices, but some of the others who actually used to buy only high-end branded devices are now okay with other brands. And by the way, I'm shooting this video with the Lenovo ZUK Z1 and using its front-facing camera, and the audio is also via the internal microphone. So let me just quickly adjust the put this on a tripod stand, and we'll continue. So let's continue. I feel the biggest advantage these established brands like LG, Samsung, Sony, and HTC have is that actually they are available offline. And I know many of my family members, when I recommend them the phones, they go to the shop, pick up the device, and see what is the in-hand feel, how the phone feels, and then only they want to make a decision. And I feel that is sort of important, which is sort of missing with these low cost brands, because most of these low cost brands like Xiaomi and the others like Lenovo, etc., mostly have an online sales model where a consumer cannot experience the product. Also, moving to another big aspect that I get is that these branded devices are there from a long time in India, and they have a robust after sales network. So if your device needs servicing, it's a lot easier to get it done from these established brands, which might not be the case with many of the new brands. Some of the new brands are paying attention, but again, if we compare, obviously the Samsungs, the Apple, etc., have way better customer care service. And next thing that is there is known as brand affinity. And to explain you this, let me give you an example of my mother. For example, about 3 to 3.5 years ago, I had gifted her the Samsung Galaxy S2, and she really liked the phone because the screen was really good. At that time, Super AMOLED screens were very vibrant, and also the camera was actually really good. So she really enjoyed using that phone. She's not an advanced user, but general user, I would say. But sadly, after about 8 9 months, she lost that device, and then I actually gave her the Samsung Note 3 Neo. That's the lower version of the Note 3, and again she was happy with that device, and again she used it for almost 1.5 years or so. And again last year she again lost it, and she's pretty old. She's over 65 years old, and she actually told me last year that don't give me a expensive device because I keep losing the devices. So give me a phone that does not cost that much, but I need a big screen, because she got used to the Note 3's big screen, I guess. So I gave her the Redmi Note 4G for a day, but just within a day she started complaining to me that this phone feels very different. I think so she just did not get used to the UI, that is the MIUI, and she said that get me back a different Samsung phone. I'm so used to that UI. So again, I feel that is also sort of important. Again, it might not affect people like you and me who can quickly get used to a new UI, but let's say if a person is old and does not like to experiment with the new UI, then they can have a certain brand affinity, in my opinion. Now, moving to the next thing is, again, this might not be important for most of you, but I feel the resale value of the Tier 1 brand devices is a lot higher. For example, it's very easy to sell the iPhones or the Samsung flagship phones rather than the low cost phones like the Xiaomi's or the Lenovo's, etc., in the second hand market. But again, this won't affect a lot of people. But if you are a person who keeps on changing phone frequently every 4 or 5 months, this might be an important point to note. I'm now moving to another thing with the branded devices, and this is not with their high-end devices, but I have a problem with their mid-range devices that is, let's say, priced between 10 to 15,000. These days, with the Chinese brands, you can get certainly excellent devices under 15,000. For example, the Redmi Note 3 or the LE1S, they have fabulous hardware for the price. But when we move to the branded vendors like the Samsungs or the LGs, etc., even with the mid-range devices, let's say if they are even priced less than 15,000, They use pretty outdated processor. For example, both the Lenovo, both Samsung and even LG are still using the Snapdragon 4X range of their processor in their mid-range devices. Another thing that I really do not like is that these brands actually skimp a lot on the sensors. For example, Samsung is famous for that. For example, in Samsung mid-range devices, you won't even find basic sensors like auto brightness and haptic feedback, and even sensors like gyroscope, etc. So they really skimp on sensors. Again, I know if you're not a power user, it won't matter. But again, basic sensors like auto brightness. Also, again, if you don't have gyroscope, you can't enjoy stuff like 360 degrees videos, the Google VR experience, etc. So those things might not be possible. So these are the things that I do not like with established brands. Their mid-range phones, yes, they might look good to look at, but they really skimp on the sensors and the processors that you're using. You're getting outdated processors. Now, moving to advantages, what these Chinese brands or the low cost vendors have, for example, the Xiaomi's or the Lenovo's, is that you're going to get amazing specs for the price. For example, even if you have a budget of around 15,000, you can get a device with amazing specs that can have a fingerprint scanner, a good camera. For example, the ZUK has even an optical image stabilization. So again, you get a lot for a lot of hardware, I mean to say, for the price. So in terms of price to performance ratio, they go over the roof, I would say, if you compare it with branded device. Yes, but the problem some of these brands have, and I'm not saying it's with every brand, is the after sale service network is not as established as the tier 1 brand. So it might be a little bit difficult to get quick service, I would say. And again, on this topic of quick service, I actually had a debate with Ash earlier on this topic. uh, uh, I used to say yes, the tier 1 brands have better service. Yes, he agreed with that, but he said that, do you think it's justified to pay 2x the price just for service? For example, Ash told me, let's say device from Lenovo or even Xiaomi or other brands, upcoming brands, Chinese brands, you can get a good device with all the sensors and everything for about 12 13,000. And if you take the same sort of device with similar specs with the established brand, you might have to pay almost close to 28 to 30,000. That's double the cost. So Ash says, is it justified to pay more than 2x the cost just for the service? So that is one question you guys have to answer yourself. If you want the best after sale service and stuff, go with established brands like Apple, Samsung. They have very good after sale service. Even LG was good. Last 2 years ago, I purchased the LG G3 and I had some problems. Within 2 days actually, I could get it fixed. But with these brands, upcoming Chinese brands, the service might not be that quick. So again, you have to decide. And talking about the service, now I have this question to you guys, and only you guys can answer this. I'll have a YouTube poll, so just click on the card, you'll get the options. I would like to know, how frequently do you guys actually change your smartphones? Within 3 4 months, or you hold it for a year, 2 years, 3 years? I would love to know about that. How frequently do you guys actually change your smartphone? So again, guys, these were my thoughts between the branded devices and the Chinese tier 1 brands. I feel the tier 1 brands, yes, they offer great service, but again, in their mid-range smartphones, they are simply not offering any value for money, in my opinion. And most of these brands actually skimp on a lot of sensors. So those were my thoughts regarding branded device and the branded tier 1 devices versus the upcoming low cost or the Chinese brands. Again, do share your opinion in the YouTube comments below. That's it for now for this video. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video.